My story began in February of 2015 when I discovered a lump. And I wasn't very worried about it because I had been down this road before. And I just figured I would go to a few appointments and it would be over with the surgery. My doctor began to tell me, though, that she wanted to have somebody with me at each appointment to hear the news with me, and she wanted somebody to be with me when I received results on the phone. And she didn't want my kids to be around when I received the results. I didn't know how to have a relationship with God. I never had a relationship with God. So I was buying a book one day at Barnes & Noble's, and I found myself in the Christian section for 4 hours surrounded by books. I couldn't read fast enough. I couldn't get enough information. I had so many questions about how do you hear God? How do you know that He's with you? How do you know that He's on your side? And I went home and I had bought a Bible. I started reading the Bible. I began to listen to podcasts. I couldn't get enough information quickly enough. When I was reading and when I was listening, everything I heard was that I had to participate in my relationship with God. And so a friend had shared with me also that there was a place called House of Hope, and it was single moms working with their children. And so I decided to call, and I started actually working at House of Refuge. And it was a perfect place because I was in the kitchen, and in the kitchen I could pray. I prayed the entire time for God to help me through this situation. Shortly after beginning, I had shared with Tammy, who works in the kitchen, my story about what was going on. And she had shared with me later that the people at House of Refuge and House of Hope were actually praying for me. I didn't understand that because they really didn't know me. And for the very first time, I felt how God uses people to encourage other people, to give them that hope. And I remember going home from volunteering one day, and I was sitting in my son's room and crying because I had to tell my family, my mom and dad, and my kids about the surgery that I was about to go into the next week. And I remember somebody was talking about giving it to God. And for the first time, I decided to give all my worries and to give everything to God. And I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that would feel like. But once I gave it to God and once I let Him have that, I felt a sense of peace, and I felt a serenity I'd never felt before. And it was the most amazing thing for me as a single mom trying to make it through this health issue. And so I continued to work in the kitchen, and then Julie approached me and asked me to help with House of Hope, with the children and the single moms. And I thought this is the perfect opportunity for me, a single mom, to help serve through God these women and their children, to help them have hope and to help them face their daily challenges with courage. I have found that volunteering at House of Hope and House of Refuge has helped me keep me on my path with God. In the past, I've always wanted to run. I actually have run from God. I actually thought God hated me. And that's why I was a single mom, and that's why I was divorced, was because He hated me. And being with these people has shown me that He doesn't hate me. It's just that I didn't see Him. And I want to make sure that these moms know that no matter what they've done, God doesn't hate them. He wants to give them hope, and He's using us to give them hope.